What's up, nerds? So I literally just finished the second episode of Superman and Lois season 4. Um, and I just want to say that this show continues to be just a great show. I love this show so much. That first episode with that fight sequence was great. I just like this premiere goes so hard. Like it's a brutal opening to this season. I'm telling you that right now. I mean, it's like the writers said, hey, look, we only got 10 episodes this season, so let's make them count and let's rock this bitch. And they did not disappoint. We got the actiony packedness with that episode 1. We got the emotional drama of episode 2, and we've got the thrills and chills of will they die, won't they die? And I just love this show. The acting is top notch, the writing is top notch, just really all the way around. I just love it. I'm going to do this breakdown a little bit differently today. I'm going to do both episodes. It's mostly just to help myself out editing wise, but let me get into all this stuff. I'll just fill you in and everything, but I just want to say I love this episode. Catch you on the other side. And actually, we knew from Superman and Lois's premiere this time that the ending of the fight sequence between Superman and Doomsday, that was at the end of season 3, the cliffhanger, that season 4 opens with this climactic conclusion to that fight, showing these two going all out against each other throughout, episode 1. And it just was great. Like they were fighting on the moon, then they're fighting in the asteroid belt. It was just great. Loved it all the way around. Yeah, I can't say enough about this fight sequence. It was just so freaking good, and it just, if you guys ever watched the Smallville Doomsday fight sequence, that was like, you blink and you miss it. This one, they spent the money. Was it movie quality CGI? No, but it was top-notch CGI in TV, in my opinion, as far as comic book stuff goes. So I thought it was great. Now, this combined with a series of flashbacks throughout the entire episode and throughout Clark's life and everything, showing him, revealing his secret identity to Lois, and then Lois giving birth to the twins, and, a series of romantic and meaningful moments between the two, like when she said she loved him, when we saw that in season 1, I believe. Now, while this raises hopes that Clark will use his strong emotion, while he gets these memories to help him defeat Doomsday, things don't work out that way, making the eventual outcome all the more devastating. And eventually the fight concludes with Superman being beaten by this, mutated Bizarro, which is now Doomsday. So he kills Superman and then brings his body back to Earth. And it's quite disturbing because Doomsday doesn't leave it there. He leaves Superman's bodies with the Kent family. And then he does take Superman's heart with him because Luthor gave him orders to bring him his heart back and everything. However, Jordan moves Superman's body to the Fortress of Solitude, where he's held in suspended animation. And this still means that they have a chance to bring him back to life. Now, I just have to say, but the conclusion of episode 1 and then the beginning of episode 2, it was just great. I love this. I loved this episode. It was just great. So General Lane, he manages to, go. We're gonna finish his storyline from the last season. And he initially attempts to escape Luthor and his henchmen and everything, but that doesn't work out. So then after Luthor digs his grave and then buries him in it, and I'll just tell you right now, it was brutal how Lex Luthor was like, make the dirt soft so it hurts when he tries to breathe. And I was like, oh man, he is going for the jugular, that Lex Luthor. By the way, actor that's doing Lex Luthor, so good, love him. Everything is great on this show. I'm gonna lick their taint all day, every day. Jordan is able to find his grandfather, and then Jordan and Lois, they go and then rescue him, and they knock out the woman who kidnapped him, and she reveals where he's hidden because he's buried and everything. Now, this makes it clear to Lois that Luthor is actively attempting to ruin her life. And he says to General Lane that this is why he's been targeting Superman and General Lane, and he's aware of her relationship with both of them. And with that being all said and everything, Lois also says that to the boys that she thinks that Luthor is going to try to turn her son and each other against her and each other. And this kind of replicates how Luthor feels about how Lois turned his own daughter, Elizabeth, I think that's her name, against him. General Lane is like the only person who knows where Elizabeth is, apparently. So the conflict between him and Lex Luthor is, I mean, I don't know if it'll crop up later on, but because they kind of turned somebody at the DOJ, they said in those final scenes of episode 2. So it'll be interesting to see how all that works out, and if they find Elizabeth, and if she even like wants to be in a have a relationship with her father. So episode 2 has a lot of twists in it and everything, including the reveal of one of Smallville's residents, this guy named Chuck, and he realizes that Superman is Clark Kent after seeing the Kent's family react to the hero's death. And Chuck is shown trying to defend the boys when Lex Luthor comes to intimidate them at the diner, but he backs off like a total pussy. Yeah, I would have stood up for them. Like when he was like, "Boys, you okay?" And Lex Luthor like gives him the look, and I'm all like, dude, don't take that shit from him. I'm all like, you can. I'm like, listen, Lex Luthor, maybe he knows how to fight and everything, but I don't know. I would be like, yo, you need to leave now. It's time for you to go, Mr. Luthor. Now, speaking of residents, I want to talk about one resident, Big Sugar, the cook at the diner. How have we not met this character? How have we never seen this character until now? This baffles me. I want to know all of Big Sugar's backstory. I want to see an episode through the perspective of Big Sugar. I know we're not going to get that. Maybe the writers could write a little something. They could film it for, YouTube or whatnot. But as soon as Lana was all like, "Big Sugar, can we have a minute?" I was like, "Big Sugar?" I'm like, what's going on here? And like, I now I need to know. Luthor appears to finally figure out that Superboy, aka Jordan Kent, and therefore Clark Kent is Superman. So he figures all this out and everything. So after Jordan tries to threaten Luthor in order to regain his father's heart, because that's how he's gonna, get his father back. They might be able to regenerate him after that. So he goes after Luthor, but Luthor seemed unaware that Superman's secret identity was Clark Kent, although he accused Lois of going against him to try to protect Superman in one of those flashbacks. The revelation that Lois is married to Superman seems to encourage Lex Luthor to double down on his plans to destroy the Kent family. It also places the Kent brothers in all the more danger because Lex, like, he just hates them with a passion, and he just has loathing for both Lois and Superman, and and everything like that hatred is just like feeding into his actions this entire episode. So his, crankiness is cranked to 11, you know what I'm saying? And he is just amped. He is ready to kick some ass. And I think that he's a great antagonist all the way around, but I think that this is great. So he gets Superman's heart from Doomsday, and he's keeping it in a case he specially commissioned from Milton Fines, which is an alias for Brainiac in the comics. And the fact that they mention Brainiac, I just go, listen, I'm glad that they did, because, I do like Brainiac, and we wanted a Brainiac as a bad guy in the movies for so long now. And we did get him in that Krypton show, which I thought that Krypton show was actually not that bad. I thought that show would be shit, but it wasn't. There was some stuff I didn't like, but for the most part, I actually thought it was not that bad. But we did get Brainiac in that show, and Brainiac was fantastic in that show. I think that they really did a good job as much as they could. I did feel like they did a good job with Brainiac portraying him. So Luthor then uses this to set up a trap for the whole Kent family, which, culminates in Jordan taking the bait and trying to go and rescue his father's heart from this little tin can thing on the docks. And, it will help with the healing factor and everything. And then Jonathan tries to go into the hotel to find out some stuff on Luthor. Instead, Jordan finds the heartbeat that he thought was his father's is instead a fake implanted into a Superman figure. And it's a trap that has been sprung with Luthor's crew, kind of like subduing Jonathan or Jordan. And, he kind of takes on this persona of his father. And then, Luthor beats him with these like sound wavy things. I don't know what that is. But then we watch Luthor as he stomps on Superman's heart, killing Jordan's dream of bringing back his father. Now, this would have been enough, like by itself, to just be like, Lex Luthor is a true fucking monster. Like, he uses this moment to call Lois on the phone, all, Saw style, and be all like, I want to play a game. You have two choices, son number 1 or son number 2. So pick one, Sophie. And it's like, I'm Lois. It's like, you know what I'm talking about. A dingo ate your baby or whatnot. And I thought, I'm trying to tell you right now, it'll be very interesting to see which son she picked. Luthor is going to reveal that, and he's going to reveal that to the boys, and whichever son that she picked, the other one's gonna be pissed. My question is, who do you think she picked? I think she picked Jordan. I think she picked the one with powers because the world needs a Superman. And I think that she was like, Jordan has powers, Jonathan doesn't. If Jordan dies, then we don't have a Superman on this planet. And then people like Lex Luthor will be able to do whatever they want. So I think that's why he picked I think she picked Jordan. So investigating Luthor's plans, Lana, because she's the mayor and everything, she's deciding to stand up to Luthor by trying to undermine his legal claim to properties around Smallville, including the hotel. Luthor's people, the board at LexCorp, explains to him that stocks have been plummeting since he came out of prison and that he needs to return to Metropolis to get the business to thrive a little bit more. And it doesn't seem that he is going to listen to that, because his empire is doing quite well, besides the stock value. And that just happened recently. And he decides that he's going to create a new headquarters in Smallville, which they purchase a farm for it. So this all culminates into the fact that we go to the Fortress of Solitude after the heart has been destroyed. And we get this. Superman does return, but as a hologram form. And I just have to say that this got me a little teary-eyed because, he appears to his family and he's just like, they're just like, I'm sorry. He's like, I'm sorry I let you down. And Lois is all like, you never let me down. And I was just like, God damn, that hits hard. It just reminds me of the Tony Stark video when he looks at his daughter and he says, love you 3000. That shit gets me every time. I need to update it, but I have done my own Tony Stark video and now my own Superman Kal-El, video. But this part was really just, great in terms of like it hit the feels and I just loved it. Now, that's the end of the episode. And I'm very, like, you guys, I am very curious as to see how this is going to go forward. I can't tell you how much I love this show. I just think it's really great. And I just really, I don't know, man. I just love this show. It's so good. It's so good. I cannot wait for I'm so bummed that it's only 10 episodes. Like, then they gave us 2 this time. And I have a feeling they're going to give us 2 the last time. I'm like, I want to stretch it out, but I want to see what happens. Like right now, I just want them to give me the whole season, but I want a season 5. And I know why they're not going to give us a season 5, because I think that James Gunn, he gave us a season 4 because obviously people love this show because it's good. But I think that he's not going to do a season 5 because he wants his Superman movie to be the only Superman in this universe, which I think is a good idea. I think that having like 15 Batmans and 15 Supermans and, throw in a couple of Jokers in there, I think that is a mistake. So we'll see how this turns out. I'm not going to lie. I really like I hope that James Gunn takes what makes this show so great and puts it in his movie, because that would just be fantastic. So that is my breakdown and review of this episode, you guys. It was just fantastic. I loved every minute of it. I cannot wait for the next episode. It's going to be so good. Everybody's doing a great job here, from the writing to the CGI people to the acting. Even the sets are great, even though they're probably real buildings, but people got to decorate that shit. I love it. And I can't say enough good things about this show. All right, well, I'm going to leave you guys there, but tell me what you guys thought about this episode. These episodes, did you like them? How did you not like them? You're crazy if you didn't like them. But tell me what you guys thought about this. Tell me what you think is going to happen. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week on my Superman and Lois breakdown and review. You guys have a good day. Bye.